Welcome to the eNETEmployer how-to video series. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about entering company information in the program's Employer tab. The first section of the lesson will talk about the name and address page, which is used to define information about the company that is using the eNETEmployer service. The second section will talk about the contact page that's used to define personnel in your organization who may be contacted if we have questions or concerns regarding the payroll. And finally, we'll discuss the Setup Payroll page that's used to enter the initial settings that control the payroll, such as its name and status, and whether the payroll is applicable for calculating, reporting, and so on. Let's begin by logging into eNETEmployer. Once the initial page appears, let's choose the Employer tab at the top of the screen. This action will move us to the Employer section of the program. The various menu commands under this tab allow us to work with the employer-related tasks at a global or company level. Some of the options defined here will be applied to all company payrolls, while other options are provided for administrative purposes. The first item we will discuss is the company's name and address page, which is accessed via the Company Name and Address menu command. When the page appears, double-click on the first row in the table, and this will place us in edit mode so we can view the various cells in the row. These include basic information such as the company name, its address, city, country, and so on. Once we've completed entering the information, we can choose the Save icon that's located at the left side of the row. When you first start using eNETEmployer, the company information on this page will have been populated by Canadian payroll systems when you subscribe to the service. The various cells may be modified as needed, and any changes can be managed by your company while you use eNETEmployer. The next item is your company's contacts page, which can be accessed via the company menu's contacts command. This page is used to define personnel in your organization who may be contacted if we have questions regarding your use of the eNETEmployer service. You can use this page to enter contact persons based on their role in the company, such as administrative, technical, accounting, and so on. And if required, we will contact the appropriate person based on the nature of the call. Just like the previous page, if we wish to make changes to the row, we can simply enter edit mode by double-clicking on the row, or we can right-click our mouse and choose the Edit Toggle Edit command. This also activates the row for editing. So once again, move through the various cells as needed and make your necessary changes, and then choose the Save icon once you're complete. The final command under the company menu is an optional one. It's entitled Divisions. Though it's not required in order to perform the payroll procedure, you may find it useful depending on the needs of your business. For example, if your company is made up of more than one distinct operating part, commonly referred to as a business division, you can use this page to define its structure. Once you designate one or more divisions, you can group employees into each division for administrative and reporting purposes. So now let's move on to the next step, which will be defining your company's initial payroll information. We'll begin by choosing the Payroll Setup Payroll command. This page is used to control basic aspects of the payroll, such as its name and status, whether the payroll is applicable for calculating, and for reporting purposes. In our demo company, we have one payroll entitled Demo 2015 Payroll. If your company has more than one payroll, you can add one easily by choosing the New button located in the button bar just above the table. Multiple payrolls are necessary when you have one payroll whose frequency differs from the other. For example, a bi-weekly payroll versus a semi-monthly payroll, and so on. When you're working with multiple payrolls, only one of them can be enabled at any given time. In our demo payroll, the open column shows the word Yes, indicating that this lone payroll is enabled. The Yes status signifies that this payroll is considered to be the current or active payroll. And when you're ready to work with the second payroll, you would simply choose the Open button for that particular row. This action would designate the newly selected payroll as active, and eNETEmployer would automatically take you to the Payroll tab so that you can begin working with the various payroll-specific options. The final step in our demo will focus on the Payroll Calculations page, so let's navigate there by choosing the Payroll menu's Calculations command. This page allows us to define the required settings for performing calculations for one or more company payrolls in one step. Because we're nearing the end of the payroll year, the settings for our demo payroll show that we are currently at pay sequence 26. Note, this particular calculations page, that is, the one shown here under the Employer tab, will only show the current pay sequence at any given time. If you want to view the other pay sequences that have been processed during the year, you can do so by navigating to the Calculations page under the Payroll tab. We will discuss that in just a moment. The status column shows the word calculated to indicate that the payroll has already been calculated at least once. eNETEmployer allows you to calculate a payroll as many times as needed in order to achieve the required results. The start date of the current pay sequence shows December 6th, and since the payroll frequency is bi-weekly, the payroll's corresponding end date will be December the 19th. These date cells will automatically increment each time you close a normal payroll sequence. The pay period cell also shows 26. This indicates that we have processed 26 normal pay runs based on our bi-weekly schedule. Both the pay period and pay sequence cells will increment accordingly as we process and close the various pay cycles during the year. Although you can calculate your payroll using this calculations page located here under the Employer tab, many clients prefer to use the calculations page that's located under the Payroll tab instead, because that particular tab displays each historical pay sequence as opposed to only the current pay sequence in a single row on this page. Let's review the historical pay sequences quickly by selecting the Payroll tab and then choosing the Payroll Processing Calculations command. This page is preferred by most program users since it shows all of the historical pay sequences for the active payroll. And if your company has only one payroll, this page will likely be the one that you frequent the most while using eNETEmployer each week. As we saw earlier, the current pay sequence column shows that we are at sequence number 26, and the various other options on this page can be used as needed to work with the active payroll. So let's complete the lesson by returning to the Employer tab so that we can review the final two options in its menu bar. The Employee menu and the Admin menus can be used as needed but are not essential when defining your initial company settings. Therefore, we can visit these two items in another video lesson. However, if you wish to learn more about these two items right now, or about any other option in eNETEmployer, simply press the F1 key on your keyboard or click on the help icon that's located at the right side of the table. This opens the online help program where each of eNETEmployer's pages are defined in detail. The definitions for each column appear in alphabetical order, and you can navigate further into the help system by choosing the various commands at the top of the page. For example, the Index section provides a complete listing of all the program pages as they appear in the various tabs and menus. The How-To section displays a list of the video tutorials that you can view in order to learn all about the various features in eNETEmployer. Each of the lessons shown here will guide you through the process in a step-by-step manner. The Search option provides access to a full-text search mechanism that allows you to find pages based on a word, a group of words, or even a longer phrase. And that concludes the lesson on how to enter your initial company information in eNETEmployer. We hope you found the lesson useful and ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more how-to videos. Thank you for watching.